and welcome to the update for the 8th of March 2013. Now this is a very special edition of the update as we have a competition running where you can win a free copy of Bioshock on Steam, but details of that at the end. Let's get on with this week's news. Now firstly, and news I'm very happy with actually, is that they have announced Age of Empires 2 is to get an HD re-release on Steam. Now there's going to be support for modern resolutions, there's going to be improved UI because of course that game came out quite a while ago and it was for low resolution squarish monitors, whereas a lot of people now will use either a 1080p or a monitor like this which is a 16:10 aspect ratio, so things have changed a little bit. But the core game isn't going to change, but there is going to be Steam Workshop support for multiple monitors, so hopefully you'll be able to play on one monitor whilst you have the mini-map running or on the other one or something like that. And it's only going to cost you $20 US or 15 of us Great British Pounds. So if you want to relive the classic, and a lot of people say, and they are right, that it is the best Age of Empires game there was, then we're all going to be in for a treat. Now, if building empires isn't necessarily your thing, then you might be interested in building cities, as I'm sure many of you would have heard that there's been quite a disaster with the recent SimCity, not too dissimilar to that of Diablo 3. Always on DRM just doesn't work clearly. When you think if you have a home network at home, when you've got 2 or 3 people downloading something on the computer, then it's going to slow your internet down. Try millions of people trying to all get on at once, and it's quite inevitable what happened. And what happened is that a lot of people couldn't play. There were launch issues, there were issues where people had to wait for a 30-minute queue, and these issues are still really going on. They're doing fixes, but they don't seem to be necessarily working. And obviously today is Friday, and that means that all of Europe have now got their game as well, so that's even more people trying to get on. And it's been a bit of a disaster, so there's been many players unable to connect, there's been 30-minute queues, and if you do manage to get in, there's loads of lag. So all this for a single player game that, while it does have multiplayer built into it, it's not the sort of multiplayer that you should have to always opt into, because clearly it doesn't work. And there is a petition going on at change.org to get rid of the DRM, but I'm fairly confident that it just can't happen due to it being baked into the game. But there's no reason for you not to sign the petition, so I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check out that and hopefully get rid of this always online DRM. Now, you may be unhappy with SimCity and you may want a refund, and you can't get one. EA have simply said that they don't do refunds on pre-order. They only do refunds on pre-orders or something, but they're trying to worm their way around, so pretty much you don't get a refund. The game itself is meant to be quite good. I will be testing it when I get a chance, but it is a big shame that this has happened to such a widely anticipated game. But you know, this is deja vu. We've had this before with Diablo 3, and it's very sad, and hopefully these companies will learn that always on DRM clearly does not work. In some slightly happier news, its news involves one of these, Windows Phone. And that is that in the UK, Windows Phone sales are up 240% that they were last year, which is great news. It means that it's growing and it's going to be good competition for Android and iOS. And it means that if there's a lot more smartphones that are out there that are Windows Phone, there's going to be a lot more apps ported over, which is great news. Keep buying them. We've had a few more apps recently come to Windows Phone, which has been good. And in also happy news with Windows Phone, they have announced the overall market share, and that is that Windows Phone currently sits at 6.2%, which isn't a massive amount, but bearing in mind we've had about 2.5 years of Windows Phone, it's pretty positive news that we're currently sitting at 6.2%. So if you imagine how that's going to be in 5 years' time, hopefully the numbers should be a lot better. If there's 240% growth, then that's very good news indeed. Just out of interest, Android are currently sitting at 56% total market share and iOS at 30%. BlackBerry is now in 4th place at about 4%-ish. But Windows Phone is doing well, and figures have shown that 26% of people switched from Android to Windows Phone. These are 26% of people that have a Windows Phone, and only 2% actually of people that had an iPhone have switched to Windows Phone. So very interesting indeed. Now, as you may or may not know, Microsoft have released their versions of Office. You've got Office 2013, which is the traditional one-user license where you get all the different applications depending on your level. So if you get Word, Excel, Outlook, if you're buying the Pro version, stuff like that. But there's also Office 365, and the whole point of Office 365 is that you get all the programs all the time on any computer, and you pay a month, not a monthly, you pay a yearly subscription. So depending on how much you use it and how many different computers you use, then it could be very useful, and it's good that there's this option for you. They've both been very highly rated, but the news story is that Microsoft had said that once you'd bought it, it would be tied to your computer like an OEM version of Windows, and unless your computer broke down, you would not be able to transfer that to another computer if you bought a new computer. But they've backed down over it, and they've now said that if you do buy Office 2013, then you can just uninstall it, deregister it, stick it on your new computer, and that will work, which is great news. And this was based on feedback, so clearly it works. A lot of people weren't very happy about that, because a lot of people buy a laptop, then buy a new one in 3 or 4 years' time, and Office doesn't change that much to warrant buying a new version of Office every time you need a new computer, really. So this is good news for the consumer, and it shows that feedback does work. So that is some of the news this week. This is what I think is important, as always. But some news for you guys: I have got a free copy of the original Bioshock. Obviously Bioshock Infinite is coming out in a couple of weeks, so if you want to get back into the spirit and haven't played Bioshock or don't have a copy of Bioshock on the PC, then this is the competition for you. Very simple. All you've got to do is go on my Twitter, and I posted a tweet that said win this copy of Bioshock, and all you've got to do is retweet that. So just follow me on Twitter, retweet that, and I will pick a winner at random on Sunday sometime in the afternoon, so about 8 PM, but depends what I'm doing. So I'll announce a winner at random, and I will send them a direct message on Twitter with the key for Bioshock. It's very sad news, obviously, but I'm not the biggest YouTuber out there, so this is actually a competition that you probably should do, because there won't be that many entries, so you actually have quite a high chance of winning. So if you need a copy of Bioshock, want a copy of Bioshock, just enter the competition and I will pick a winner at random. Thank you for watching the update, and I will see you next time.